Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another F1 TS Hub stream. We are here for the Pinnacle tier teammate selection, our final event before we finally get racing next week. We had our podium tier earlier on at 7 p.m. Their teammate selection went through nice and smoothly, Jamie, and now we've got the Pinnacle, our 8 p.m. middle tier. To do their teammate selection. Yeah, Jamie, head of teams, is alongside me. Welcome to the stream, Jamie.
Hello, everybody again.
So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to run through kind of the process that our Pinnacle 2 drivers went through, and then we're going to reveal who's already teamed up or picked a teammate, been negotiating behind the scenes, and of course that will leave some teams left to pick, which will go down in alphabetical order via the teams. So Jamie, do you just want to talk to us a little bit about how the team contracts worked?
Yeah, well, basically, as I said previously, you're categorised into three groups, and application open as soon as tiers are announced, so people can get on it straight away. And we have like the top group, which it's pretty obviously they are the Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull, and these teams want the best of the best. They want drivers who've either won races or had multiple podiums or like a consistent front runner. And then in the middle group, you got McLaren, Renault, Force India, and Williams. And these drivers, they want the experienced drivers. That they've all got drivers who've got a bit of, you know, good results in the league. Maybe not top results, but people who are consistent drivers and looking to push them that next level. And then look down below that, you've got Haas, Toro Rosso, and Sauber. And these drivers, they're like open to anybody. They just want drivers who are keen to learn and obviously develop. And if you get a really good rookie, maybe you can get a champion out of one of these drivers.
Yeah, definitely. And so once the teams had all signed a contract, they had all this week to kind of negotiate behind the scenes one of the 10 drivers without a team, whether they wanted to sign up. And of course, they've been doing that, and we'll bring you those in just a second. But Jamie, do you want to talk us through what teams got applied to the most, and what teams maybe struggled to get a driver this season?
Well, more popular teams are the lower ranked teams. Like, you got Sauber had seven applicants, and then you had Haas who had five, and Toro Rosso had four. And I think this is quite obvious because there seem to be a lot of rookies in this tier, and um, and obviously and I think Toro Rosso and Saab in particular, two of their best looking cars in my view, and a lot of people like driving them cars. And the one seat struggled for mainly was the Williams seat, and I was quite surprised because Williams are by far the most successful team in this league, and it was the seat we're waiting for to get filled, but thankfully that got taken up Monday evening, I believe.
Awesome stuff. All right, so as we said, negotiations have been ongoing throughout the week. So let's just remind you, Sam is signed for Ferrari, Lawrence for Force India, Jules signed with Haas, Dweller with McLaren, Reflo with Mercedes, it's Heskey time with Red Bull, Lukey with Renault, White Fountain with Sauber, Scorpion with Toro Rosso, and Williams signed Cobblers. Now let's reveal which teams of those have already signed a teammate. So we can see that Matt Your Daddy has signed for Renault. That is, of course, with Lukey. You've got Pepsi Gamer, who has signed for McLaren with Bloffy Dweller. You've got Cloudy Balloons, who this is a late one, just come in before the stream tonight. He is signed with Heskey Time for Red Bull. You've got Matt, who have signed with Ferrari. No surprise there, joining his friend Sam. Interestingly, they've moved over from Mercedes to Ferrari this season. And then you've got in the Williams, which is Cobblers, you've got Showman, who has signed to join that team. So we have left Lawrence to pick a teammate, then Jor to pick a teammate, then Reflo, White Fountain, and Scorpion. So that's the order we'll go in. Obviously, if someone doesn't reply on the PSN chat when offered a drive, it automatically gets accepted. If the driver who's already signed to a team isn't available to ask anyone, we'll move on to the next person in alphabetical order, and then obviously we'll just pair up the remaining two when they are left. All right, so we'll start with Lawrence. It's Lawrence's time to shine in the Force India. Of the teammates remaining to be signed up, who would you like to offer a drive alongside you in the Force India this season? You've got CSS, Farth, Go Tony, SFR Chopper, and TK. So yeah, go ahead now on the PSN chat if you're listening. If not, of course, we will move on to the next driver. But Jamie, familiar faces in this tier. Some moving up from the podium tier. You expecting obviously you commentated on this tier last season. You
Yeah,
expecting an
yeah,
entertaining
yeah.
one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think the problem last season upon tiers, it wasn't Pinnacle tiers. It wasn't that exciting at the front. You had the same, three people at the front, and it sort of got a bit predictable. But with this lineup, I think it's going more open this season, and I can see there's several drivers here I can see can contend. I mean, you obviously got Samster, you've got Matt FNG, you've got Reflow, Heskey. There's there's got a lot of really good drivers who can compete. I think last season you sort of knew who won the race before it started, which wasn't that good.
And obviously, it doesn't add to the excitement when it's like that. But as you mentioned, there's lots of drivers this season who potentially could, you got Reflow, who's won the championship in the podium tier last
Yeah,
season. He's going to be up
right.
there. Jaws moved up, so has Lukey moved up as well from the podium tier. So it'd be interesting to see how they get on. Obviously, you've got
I'm
Cobblers, Matt
interested.
Your Daddy. They were in this tier last season.
I'm interested how Lukey gets on because I think I was speaking to him before, and he's saying that he's found a lot more pace in this game, and he thinks he can be a consistent points finisher. I remember him and Matty Daddy, they were teammates back at season 10, I believe, in the podium tier. So it's interesting that they've come together again. Maybe they get
Reunited.
on well with each other. Yeah.
All right, so we'll just give Lawrence another 30 seconds. If he doesn't respond, Joe will be up next to pick a teammate. We know that Go Tony has absolutely got his pen ready to sign that contract to the Haas team. Obviously,
Yeah.
he wants to be with the American team. So yeah, Haas a good team, good looking car as well. So if they were to sign up, of the drivers that have already confirmed, are there any surprises there for you? Sam and Matt, obviously, you just knew they
I
were going
mean,
to team up.
I expected Lukey to hit up Matty Daddy, and expected Sam and Matt. He's obviously only second teammate in the league. Sam's he's got quite well. He's got teammates he likes. I'm quite surprised with Cloudy Balloons and Heskey. I, I mean, I'm quite surprised with that pairing. I didn't really expect that. I thought Cloudy would go with the Williams again, but he didn't want it at the end for some reason. Also, it's interesting how Showman does in the Williams, rookie driver. I don't really know much about him, so him and Cobblers, obviously Cobblers had, I was briefly teammates with him in season 10, but he had horrific connection issues, so hopefully he gets that resolved this season and he can contend. And obviously you've also got Pepsi and Boffigiano, obviously two drivers who raced in this tier last season. Be interesting to see, that could be a pretty close battle between them two, I think, so that'd be interesting, and the head-to-heads in my team briefings might be interesting between them two.
Awesome. So we're just going to break Go Tony's heart. Joe has offered TK a drive at Haas, and TK
Yeah,
has accepted straight away. So that is another confirmed lineup. Joe and TK, both who moved up from the podium tier last season. TK was recommended to league by Joe, and of course joined midway through the podium tier. He was definitely fighting for podiums and top five places. So that will be a strong lineup. Towards the title this season. But no time to stop. Reflow, you are up next. It's your time to pick from the remaining teammates. Who would you like to choose to partner you at Mercedes? Alright, so we've sent the notification out. Let's see whether Reflow is obviously he was teamed up with Rex last season in the podium tier, and they won the constructors together. So he'll be looking to continue that dominance this time in the Mercedes. We already know he's going to be a title contender. All right, he has chosen Farth. So Farth, any objections to that? Do you accept? If he accepts, fantastic. Yep. And would you look at that? Done and dusted. Another confirmed
yeah.
lineup. Farth will be joining Reflow at Mercedes again. That is another strong lineup. So Jamie, and any surprises so far tonight on these two?
Um, no, I expected your and TK team up because obviously I believe they're friends in real life, and obviously they raced the same tier last season. They're both moving up. Obviously, your has been in all three tiers, I believe. He's been in the top tier. He's been in the. He got down to the the point tier. Now he's back in the middle tier. So just how your does. I remember on F1 2016, he was a pretty quick driver. So I expect to see improvement from him this season.
So White Fountain is up next. He's obviously signed to the Sauber team, so he's got CSS, Go Tony, or SFR Chopper to choose from. So we'll wait for him to say what's on his mind. Of course, new to the league, so this is his first kind of team contracts and teammate selection, and he's
Yeah.
gone for CSS. So CSS, any objections? Let us know if you want to accept or not. Otherwise, that's another lineup complete, and then Scorpion will be next to choose. Lawrence has just joined us as well, so we will come back to Lawrence shortly. Let's
He's a
let's
bit,
see
bit
whether
late there.
CSS let's see whether CSS has any objections. Otherwise, he will be joining White Fountain at Sauber this season. Make sure, of course, if you're watching, you hit that subscribe button, and so yeah, accept on PSN, CSS, or if you want to, you can post in the live chat as well. Um, we'll see it either way, and that is to drive at Sauber for season 12. So Sauber, obviously, as you mentioned, Jamie, a new livery this season makes
Yeah.
it look a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And obviously, as Charles Leclerc this year's popular driver, next year they've got Kimi Raikkonen, so maybe we'll support team next year because you know how popular Raikkonen is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's one of the most popular on the grid. So be interesting to see what Sauber are able to do in real life. And of course, F1 practice is live P2 at the moment. It's a rain whitewash at the moment, but we'll see whether we get any action out on track. As for us, we're heading to Australia next week for the first race of the season. All right, we're going to accept that one. So
Put that in, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, some
so
sound.
Sauber, it'll be White Fountain and CSS. We know he's listening, so congratulations to you two. You'll be driving for Sauber in season 12. Scorpion, you're next. So Scorpion, let's give him a shout out on the chat. And of course, he has Go Tony or SFR Chopper to choose from.
Yeah.
Awesome, and he's chosen Chopper. So any objections, Chopper, let us know. If not, then there we go. So that's
It's accepted
accepted.
straight away, yeah.
Yeah, straight away. So there we go. That is that one done and dusted, which means that will only leave Lawrence in the Force India with Go Tony. So
Yeah.
that completes our lineup. Let's run through it, Jamie. So in the Ferrari, you have Sam and Matt. No surprise there. In the Force India, you have Lawrence and Go Tony. In the Haas, you have Jaw and TK. In McLaren, you have Bluffy Dweller and Pepsi Gamer. In Mercedes, you have Reflow and Farth. In the Red Bull, you have it's Hesky Time and Cloudy Balloons. Of course, Cloudy Balloons, Jamie, won the last race in season 11 in this tier,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
he's coming
characters,
back.
that.
Yeah. So in the Renault, you've got Lukey and Matt, your daddy. In the Sauber, you've got White Fountain and CSS, both a complete new lineup there. In the Toro Rosso, you've got Scorpion and SFR Chopper, and in the Williams, you have Cobblers and Showmen. So exciting lineups. Guys, if you're listening to the stream, let us know. Let us know who you think's up for the title challenge. Jamie, let's start with you though. Who do you reckon? Drivers' Championship. Who's going to be up there contending for it?
Um, I think, I think it'll be like, I think looking at this list, I think Heskey up there. I think he was borderline prestige tier again. I think he preferred being in his tier. I think last season he struggled a little bit in the prestige. I think this tier would be better for him, and obviously he's a past podium finisher, so maybe he can get a few wins this season. Also, I think Samster and Matt in the Ferrari, I think they'll be a strong pairing. But what Sam's got to do, he's got to stop making these mistakes he makes. I know he kicks it, he I know I speak to him a lot, and he gets frustrated sometimes. If he's a bit calmer, then I think he can definitely contend this season. And also, you've got the Refor, I think. Can he do back-to-back titles? He's got a great chance, I think. And also, people like, and also, there's many more drivers. People like Lawrence. I think Lawrence, he's got a really good chance this season. I think Tony, you might be last pick, but I think you've got a really good teammate there. And it'd be just how the rookies do, like White Fountain, Scorpion, Showman. I think these drivers could get some good results this season. I think, again, it's hard to predict a champion, but if you're going for constructors, I think Ferrari are probably my favourites for that.
Well, Toro Rosso, they reckon it's going to be 1-2 in both championships. There's only one way to
Uh,
find out. 21 races though, so it's going to be a roller coaster of a ride. Obviously, I have the advantage of knowing the qualifying night times, so I can kind of know who's near the top of this tier. But so it's
no,
almost unfair for me to answer the
no,
championship
yeah.
predictions. But one qualifying session round Hungary doesn't mean you're going to be able to.
No, it's
A
very,
21 whole races is a completely different story.
of
But yeah, as you
course,
said,
got to remember.
Sam will be up there. We know Duella wants this really bad, so it'll be interesting to see, can he bring his A
See,
game this season. We saw it in I believe it was season 10. So let's see what he can bring to F1 2018. Reflo, of course, esports driver, and the podium tier champion. As you mentioned, Heskey time, I can tell you he was right up. As you mentioned, he was right on the borderline of prestige Pinnacle. But this tier, I think he'll enjoy it. Lukey, what can he do? He's a former champion as well in season 9. And then you got obviously the new guys. We don't know how they're going to perform. Cloudy, last race winner in this tier last season. So that there's so many drivers. I think TK and Jor as well in the Haas. That's a strong lineup for the constructors.
yeah,
But you have to say Ferrari can they continue? I know they had a couple of incidents last season, didn't they, Jamie, where they actually touched and cost each other
yeah,
positions and points.
yeah.
So they won't need
They
to
need,
they shouldn't be doing that
they
this
need to
season if they
keep
want that
control there.
title.
And obviously, don't forget Matty Daddy's a reigning constructors champion this tier, so maybe you can get back to back Lukey. And obviously, they know each other pretty well, so you never know.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining. We can't wait to get started next week in Australia. Of course, you'll have your media day on the Thursday, and then you'll be racing at 8 p.m. on the Friday. You'll have Jono and Kieran in the commentary box on his debut. So, looking forward to seeing some commentary, some live action, finally some racing. As we mentioned earlier, Jamie, this preseason has
Yeah,
felt like forever, but the patches are
it's a
coming
really
thick
long
and
time.
fast. The game is hopefully going to be ready for us, and we can't wait for F1 TS Hub to hit the track. Pinnacle tier, best of luck. Make sure you tweet out who you're racing for and who your teammate is.
Yep, definitely.